Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of the Louis Sports Network. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure your post notifications are turned on. Make sure you're sharing on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate that. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Peace and blessings to everybody. Hope everybody is enjoying themselves. I love and appreciate you guys as always, man. On to the video. Scottie simping, ladies and gentlemen, continues it again, man. This odd little going back and forth between him and Michael Jordan. I can't even really call it a real back and forth because it's really been one-sided because Jordan has really never responded to Scottie Pippen ever since he's been taking these shots at him from the Last Dance documentary. But it says, Scottie Pippen blasts Michael Jordan as a horrible player before the pair became teammates. Scottie Pippen's odd war on Michael Jordan continues. In what has become a one-sided feud long after retirement, Scottie Pippen has repeatedly, ladies and gentlemen, as I say, gone after Michael Jordan, seemingly stemming from his treatment in the Last Dance documentary, which famously chronicled in the 1990 Chicago Bulls and was largely centered around Michael Jordan. Recently, while a guest on Stacey King's Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast, Stacey King, another dude who does not like Michael Jordan, Pippen joined and once again sideswiped Jordan while elevating LeBron James, who entered the NBA just months after Jordan retired in 2003. Pippen straight up called Jordan a horrible player until the two became teammates. Scottie says, "I've seen Michael play before I came to the Chicago Bulls." "You guys seen him play," says Scottie, who was drafted number 5 overall in the '87 draft and sent to the Bulls in a trade with Olden Polynice, where Michael Jordan had been for 3 previous seasons. Bull Scottie Pippen, LeBron James will be the greatest statistical player to ever play the game of basketball. Michael was a horrible player. But enough of what I had to say. Let's take a listen to what Scottie Pippen saying how he really feels on the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast with Stacey King. Take a listen, ladies and gentlemen.
LeBron will be the greatest statistical guy to ever play the game of basketball. And there's no comparison to him. None. So, does that make him the greatest player to ever play the game? I'll leave that out for debating because I don't believe that there's a great player because our game is a team game and one player can't do it. Like, I seen Michael Jordan play before I came to play with the Bulls. You guys seen him play. He's a horrible player. He was horrible to play with. He was all one-on-one. He's shooting bad shots. And all of a sudden, we become a team and we start winning. Everybody forgot who he was.
So, ladies and gentlemen, those were Scottie Pippen's comments. Those were very short and very brief on the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast with Stacey King. But if you guys listen closely to what Scottie Pippen said, he actually contradicted himself in his statement because he said that LeBron will be the greatest statistical player. In his mind, he's the greatest player to ever play the game. Again, Scottie loves LeBron because LeBron reminds him of him in terms of being the point forward, being able to make plays with the basketball. But LeBron James plays the LeBron James system. Scottie Pippen, you played in the triangle offense. So there's a difference right there. That's number one. Number two, what you fail to mention is that, well, if LeBron is the greatest player in your eyes, you just said that there really is no GOAT. It's a team game. But you just said that LeBron is the greatest of all time, but it's a team sport, right? So I'm trying to understand, Scottie, where you're coming from. You need to make it make sense, right? So I said the reason I said Stacey King is because Stacey King also is not a fan of Michael Jordan. There were issues between him and Michael during the 3P Bulls back in the day. So he says, as he mentioned, he was a horrible player, one-on-one shooting bad shots. He says the minute that they became a team, he was forgotten. What? First of all, Scottie, before you arrived to the Chicago Bulls, Michael made a name for himself. I mean, you ought to everybody should know because you saw the documentary and you played with Michael most of your career. Did you forget that? Let's see. That Michael Jordan's Jordan 1s sold over made $130 million in their first year in revenue sales. Did you forget that? Or did you also forget that Jordan was Rookie of the Year? So if he was a nobody and people forgot about him when you became a basketball team, why did you beg Michael Jordan to come back when you were struggling in 1995? Because if you remember 1994, the infamous Tony Kukoc game where he made the shot with 1.3, I think it was 1.3 or 1.2 seconds remaining when Phil drew the play for Tony, because prior to that shot, Tony had hit 4 game winners during the 94 season. And none of the plays dealt with you. So, Scottie, if it wasn't a problem in the regular season, why did it become a problem in the playoffs? How about the fact that you didn't talk about that you only averaged 21 a game in that series against the Knicks and only shot 40%? And also, if Scottie says the minute that he arrived that they didn't win without you, Michael Jordan is on record as saying that the Bulls didn't win without you. He has constantly said that. He's given you credit among credit among credit among credit over the years for all 6 of those NBA championships. So, and my thing is, Scottie's complaining about the way he's been treated, but let's be really honest. This stems from 2 things. 2, the Last Dance documentary was an excuse for Scottie Pippen to go at Michael Jordan because, again, Jordan is the foundation and he's the franchise. Scottie Pippen was a building block. He definitely helped Michael Jordan, though the Bulls don't win those championships without Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan has said that. Phil Jackson has given you credit even when you had your little riff with him because you wanted to take the last shot. But my thing is, you've made a lot of questionable decisions in your life, Scottie, and now it's like you're looking for an excuse as to blame somebody. Because you blame Phil for being a racist when that didn't make sense, or else you wouldn't have been on the team if you was a racist. But you still enjoy those 6 championships, right? So he can't be a racist. The Bulls organization can't be racist if you won 6 championships, because you would have left already, despite that you wanted to get traded multiple times because of your contract. So that's what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, that where Scottie's coming from, it just doesn't make any bit of sense. And like I said before, if Scottie Pippen says that they didn't win until he got there, and Jordan is such a horrible player, don't you think that you would have won the championship in 1988? But let's also forget the fact that you didn't start until 1989. Let's also not forget the fact that it took the Bulls 4 years after you got drafted, to win the NBA title. You weren't fully developed yet. So what I'm basically trying to say is that I'm not trying to take away your contributions and what you've meant to the Chicago Bulls and what you've meant to the NBA. Scottie, you were good. Okay? You were fun to watch, believe it or not. But when it comes to your offense isn't what Michael Jordan's was. It just wasn't. The Bulls don't win without you. You're correct. But you're trying to elevate yourself you're trying to put yourself as a Robin, as if you're this alpha dog. Like you were the alpha the minute you got there, that Michael Jordan was just a Robin. He went from an alpha to a Robin the minute that you got there. And that just, your reverse psychological logic makes absolutely no sense. So, Scottie, I love what you did in your time in Chicago. I love what you did in your time in the NBA. You were one of the best defensive players ever. You're always going to be the greatest number 2, but you're not a number 1. You never was a number 1. Your offensive game was not at the level of a number 1 player. But now you want to come here and call Michael Jordan a horrible player. Now, look, what I'll agree with you is this. Michael Jordan had the ball in his hands a lot. That had to do with his 3 coaches, Stan Albeck, Kevin Loughery, and Doug Collins. But also remember, Scottie, that you played with Doug Collins for 2 years, your first 2 seasons. Do you remember that too? I guess you forgot that Phil Jackson was not the head coach. He was an assistant for 2 years before he took over in your 3rd year. And Scottie, you were incredible in the run to the 1991 championship. I saw it. The way you played in the Eastern Conference Finals, the way you were able to keep your head, you were able to stay cool no matter what Detroit tried to do to you. You played some great basketball. I'll never forget how you played in the 93 Eastern Conference Finals against the New York Knicks. I'll never forget how you played in the 91 Finals against the Los Angeles Lakers. So, Scottie, you've had some good series. You were a great defensive player. But for the love of God, sir, your issues with your wife, Larsa Pippen, ever since she took Future and now she's banging Michael Jordan's son, is the reason why you're like that. You never try to get in control of her. You never try to work things out with her. You never try. You should have left when you should have. And it's like, even when she cheated on you, you gave her a $4 million promise ring. But that's Michael Jordan's fault that you have issues with your wife. So that's Michael Jordan's fault that you call Phil Jackson a racist and he had Tony take the last shot and not you.